Hey Pete. Let's see. I just got the YouTube channel set up. So this is broadcasting to the Facebook page and to the YouTube page at the same time. If I had another phone, I would do one to Periscope, but I don't, so I can't. So this is Ace, and Ace is going to be fielding questions from you guys today. And let's have some fun. Shall we? Yes. So, bear with me a little bit while I get this stuff kind of rolling here. I'm noticing that the YouTube feed is not as good and is kind of pixelated, but that's okay. Let's see here. So I'm going to do my best to, one thing I noticed with the Facebook, here, Scudo Race, with the Facebook, the way that this app works is that I don't always see the questions rapid fire. So just bear with me and we'll get started in a second. Scorpions? Scorpions. Pete, what are you asking about the scorpions? California! There you go. There's a little scorpions for you, Pete. Let's see. Says the stream health is good on YouTube, but picture quality isn't so great, but that's okay. I'm not going to sweat that. Should I sweat it? No, not right now. Okie dokie. So, let me refresh this page. So, I'm sitting at my desk, and I've got my laptop over here, and then I've got two browser pages open, and let me see here. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so I think we're kind of ready to get going here. Let's see. Oh, we got some questions coming in on the YouTube channel. David Haney, are you building full-time now? Yes, dude, I've been building full-time since October of 2014. October 1st was the day that I lit my khakis on fire and quit my day job. Been going pretty well. So, let's see. Rhonda asked, what are you eating? Altoids. Because anybody actually that used to work with me in the corporate world knew that I always had Altoids because I did a lot of talking for my job. So I, fresh breath is important. And also, if you're talking a lot, kind of keeps things going. Just kind of stick them right in there, or like down in here. Keeps things moving. Let's see. Do my neighbors come over to see what I'm working on in the garage? Derek, yes, they do. Sometimes it's really irritating, actually. I try and be nice. Should we address the me or the Ace Frehley statue? That is an excellent question. So, hiya, Carly. We'll just put Ace over there. You can just talk to me. So, let me burn through some of these questions here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Why can I not see all of the comments? Okay, Brandon says, my favorite video series is still your Les Paul renovation series. Thanks, man. That is, quite frankly, what really started the YouTube channel and got that the popularity for that. And that YouTube, through this. Oh, I can. Okay, cool. All right, so who is my favorite smaller luthier outside of Perry Ormsby or Paul Roney? That's a good question. I don't know. Let me come back to that. Kevin asks, hey, do you ship to Quebec, Canada, and how much can a guitar cost by you? Yeah, dude, I will ship internationally, and as far as costs, best to visit www.sullyguitars.com and go ahead and click through the models that are on the site, and you will be able to get a general idea of the pricing of each of them. Scorpions, do I like the Scorpions? Yeah, sure. I like a few songs here and there. How could I not love Van Halen? Well, I did a video on this. It's on the YouTube channel. When I was doing questions, and someone asked jokingly if I like Ace or Randy Rhoads, not Ace, Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads better, and I knew it was a joke, but I took the question seriously, and I kind of elaborated on that. But I loved Van Halen when I first heard them, and it's still one of those moments of you remember exactly where you were when you you hear something. And I remember the first time I heard Running with the Devil, and then like how that whole song starts and it builds, and then the guitar comes in, and it's like, what? And I was blown away. And I was a huge Van Halen fan. And when I was about in 6th grade, and so that was like 1981 or 82 maybe. And so anyway, yeah, big Van Halen fan. In the interim, I discovered Randy Rhoads, and I was still a fan of both. But I was more of a fan of Randy's approach to things, and still loved Eddie Van Halen. But then Dave split, or the split happened, and Dave put out Eat 'Em and Smile, while Van Halen put out 5150. That was terrible. So Eat 'Em and Smile was wonderful and fantastic, and was to me just like this huge fuck you to Van Halen, and to me, as far as I'm concerned, mission accomplished. But that's it in a nutshell. There's a whole bunch of other rambling about that. So I mean, there's a few songs that I like here and there. If I hear Unchained ever again, I will just jam Knitting Needles into my head. So Van Halen 1 is really the album that I like the most and will still listen to. Except Cradle Will Rock, I really like that one too. Let's see. Do your neighbors ever come home? Okay, ask that one. Okay, that's Brandon's question. Yep. Someone's having a good hair day? Alright. Favorite tone woods? I don't really look at them as tone woods per se, because I don't really have the, I don't get into the whole tone conversation, because I don't maybe hear what you hear, and you don't maybe hear what I hear, and you don't hear what that... And it's got an ebony head plate, and this is all Honduran mahogany. You can see the back there. And it's got an oiled neck, and I had some extra quilt veneer for the back, so that got a matching finish. This one is really sweet. It's, yeah. But I can say to myself, oh, I wish I didn't sell it. But realistically, that particular guitar, had I not put that on Kickstarter, never would have come to existence, because it was just a body blank sitting on a shelf, and a neck blank sitting on a shelf, and a fretboard, Well, no, I didn't actually have that fretboard, but it was one of those things where if somebody didn't buy it and kind of force my hand into making the guitar, it wouldn't exist. So I'm happy that... Yes, David Micah. Yep. Yes, thank you, Tony Van Kirk. I love David Micah a lot. So, sorry, that was going back to other luthiers who I like besides Perry and Paul Roney. Nice. What was I saying? Yeah, so yeah, there are guitars that that Blue 71 that has a Floyd on it is another one. Like I wrote in the control cavity, no, the spring cavity. I should have kept it with a smiley face, but it's all good, man. I look at it like this. When they go to their owners, they're going to get played more than they would if they were with me. I still play guitar, but not nearly as much as I used to. So, I'm going to go over to the YouTube channel here. What is my dream guitar? You know, that's a good question. I would say that my dream guitar would be like an 83 Rhodes in really good condition. Not a student Rhodes, because the students had rosewood fretboard dot inlays. I like dot inlays, but if I'm gonna have a Rhodes, I want it to be, you know, ebony and sharks and stuff like that. That is the first thing that comes to mind. Let's see. How many guitars do I have in my personal collection? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 or 12 or 13 or something like that. They're all, and then there's, with the exception of a couple, they're all mine. About to crash, but always good to hear you yarning, mate. Thanks for checking in, Matt. How does the Revolution V compare to the Jackson King V? Is it a full-size Robin Crosby double rose, or is it a dinky Mustaine? Well, let's ask it. So, Revolution V. Are you little? Yeah, it's the smaller. I can't say if it's the Mustaine size, because honestly, I didn't have one here to measure, so I think offhand this is like 19 and a half or 20 or so from this joint to the end of the wing. Double Rhodes are cool, like what Robin played, but you gotta be pretty tall to play them. And if I'm going to introduce a new model, it's got to be something that will have a wider appeal. So I went with something a little bit more compact. Let's see. What did I do in my Johnny Watson? What did I do in the corporate world before building full time? A few things, but for the most part, I mostly like management, like call center related. In either tech centers. I've worked for a few different cellular companies, ran some training and QA departments, also had this this is a cool job. I worked for this software company, and I had a strange kind of position in that I was like a liaison between, it was a software company, so I was I was kind of like a liaison between like web developers or app developers and IT. Sorry, I saw a question come in. And so I don't really have an IT background. I don't really have a development background. So I would kind of manage the product releases and make sure that QA's got their testing and all that stuff done. And if something went wrong, I would have to try and... It was like that scene in Office Space where it's like, I take the specs from the customers and I give them to the engineers. It's like that same kind of thing where you weren't really responsible for, you didn't really do anything, but you were kind of like involved in everything. It was a really interesting job until I got a new director who was insane, so I had to go. Let me fix this real quick. I think that's, oh, sorry, YouTube. Let's back you up a little bit. Okay. Yes, so, yes, I saw that earlier. It's amazing. You gonna expand, add helpers, asks Daryl Mitchell. That is a good question. Probably, eventually, but not for a while. I've got some helper monkeys that come and, do a little bit of sanding and stuff, and for now that's about it. And, ultimately, yeah, I don't intend on being the only person building Sully guitars, because I don't necessarily aspire to be as large as, like, say, a Paul Reed Smith, because that's really large. But I do want to make more than 20 guitars a year, and yeah. Let's see. go to we got a YouTube. Corey, project management. It's kind of similar. It had some crossover into project management. Brandon Denta, if you were to buy a guitar off the wall at a music store today, what would it be? Other than an Ormsby, I would get, hands down, and for the past few years, actually since GJ2 guitars came out, which are made by Grover Jackson, I said that Grover actually makes the only guitar that I would really buy, because I'm kind of done with buying guitars, really, for the most part. And, you know, if there's a particular guitar or something that I want, I'll just build it. That's not to say that if I want a Les Paul, I'll go build a Les Paul, because I won't do that, because that's, I don't know, I think that's kind of lame, honestly, and yeah. So I would say Grover Jackson. I would buy GJ2 guitars all day long. Worst and best guitar I've ever had my hands on and played with. You know, well, that kind of segues in. So the best guitar I've ever had in my hands and played, I'll just say one of my favorite recently is like GJ2s. I really like them. I think they're very well made, and I love the neck shapes. And, you know, yeah. I wouldn't say, however, this is the worst guitar, because not as a quality kind of thing, but as far as guitars that I just pick up and I'm like, oof, take it back. Not because of the way that they're built, not because of any kind of potential or perceived flaw or anything, but I just don't like the neck. PRS. PRS guitars are fantastically well built. They look beautiful. The finishes are killer. The workmanship is top notch. They're practically, you know, they're pretty fucking flawless. And but I really just don't like the neck. I just don't like the necks, so I wouldn't. If I had a PRS, I would sell it. And I really hope that doesn't come across as me going, "Oh, they suck," because that is the farthest thing from the truth, and not what I'm trying to convey at all. They're very well built guitars. They're just not for me. Same thing as like Fenders. I've never had a Fender that I really like, bonded with. Didn't really care for the neck shapes, and on the older ones, you know, with like the fretboard radius was crazy. Like, you know, just like, ugh, no thank you. David Aparicio, what would it take to change stock Les Paul frets to stainless? Is it a good idea? I think stainless steel frets in any guitar is a good idea, because stainless steel frets are awesome. What would it take? It's just a standard refret, but you know, you use some different tools than you would if you generally work with nickel. Mark Lindsay, you can't keep every one of them. Exactly! So I much prefer building guitars for others and getting them out in the hands of other people so they can be enjoyed. Let's see. Corey asks, have I ever played any of the GJ2 Inspiration Korean models? I have not. However, that factory that they are manufactured in, I was about to say made at, but that particular factory, World Instruments, they make fantastic guitars. And I know his GTR series are built there, and I've spent a fair amount of time with those guitars, and they're fantastically well built. They also build like the PRS SEs and Schecters and LTDs, and so it's a great factory. They're putting out a very quality product. However, if you are somewhat interested in the GJ2 Inspiration series, I highly recommend you to pull the trigger on one, because right now they are they're plecking all of them, and they're installing their USA-made habanero pickups in them, and those pickups are fantastic, and it's like $7.99. So, and I think Grover's signing the back of the headstocks. So when you go and place your order for one, tell them that Sully sent you, and they'll say, "Oh, that's cool." And yeah, their pickups are fantastic. I use them as the default in every Sully guitar, so you should too. They're great. Yes, because Randy Rhoads is the man. Yeah, he is. He's like right over there. Let's see. Are there any other questions? So same as PRS and a few other big builders. Yes, yeah, it's all the same. Let's go over to Mitch Bradford. Just took a tour of PRS last weekend. Yeah, my friend Brian did at the Guitar Sanctuary. He is a big fan, and one thing that's really cool about Guitar Sanctuary is that it's really close by to me, and they've got nothing but just beautiful guitars there. So I do get to see a lot of the higher end, like private stock PRS stuff that they have, and it's all just, they're just gorgeous guitars. They're just not for me. Let's see. Yeah, Corey, nice. Atta boy. You know, I don't know if they're selling those direct. You know, dude, just like message me off, like, and I want to try and help get you one. I mean, you can get one yourself, but I don't know, whatever. Just buy one. Let me go back to Facebook questions here. Your hair goes perfect with the guitar, though. Which one? I don't know if you've answered this before. Oh, so Tom, I don't know if you've answered this before, but how did I get my start learning how to build guitars? This is a long answer, and I'm going to do my best to try and make this a little bit short for you because I want you to stay awake while I'm answering your question. Growing up in the 80s, and like all of my guitar heroes at the time had just custom guitars, and that was kind of the culture. And there was a local shop near me, and the guy that did repairs also built like parts guitars, and he was like the cool guy to take lessons from. And so when he got his own store, I used to, and some other kids that had similar interests, used to hang out at their store all the time like stray cats, and they were always really nice. And Steve used to just let me just watch him do repair work, and I'd ask him questions, and he would just answer, but like I understood what he was talking about. And I was probably about 15 or 16 at this time, and that left a huge impression. So I've always kind of worked on them and stuff like that here and there. I eventually decided to make some parts guitars like Steve did when I was in like 2001, and then started making my own bodies and necks and there and so forth. But a lot of it was a ton of research, a ton of reading, buying any books I could get my hands on, all kinds of articles I could find online. And then, of course, you get to the point where you've read so many of them, you get all of this conflicting information, which is just lovely in the guitar world. But I guess it's like that with anything else, because everybody's got different methods, and everybody's got different things that work better for them. And so then you kind of have to sift through like what works for you. And I didn't have anyone with me to say, no, don't do it like that, don't do it like this. Or if I first time I turned a router on, there wasn't someone with me to go, no. So that's one thing that's really fun about doing the guitar building classes, because I can do that for someone. And yeah, so a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a fair amount of trial and error. Let's see. I've got an Ibanez AR420. The bridge humbucker is about 7 mil from the strings, and it sounds really rough and edgy. Can help changing the highs fix that a bit. You want to get a little softer out of it. Yeah, you could. I guess you could drop the pickup down a little bit. That's a nice thing about pickups is you can adjust them to your taste. You can also maybe try a different capacitor or something like that in your tone control, or just roll the tone off a little bit. Might help. Let's see. When I order mahogany, do I have any way of knowing if it's heavy or lightweight, or is it just what I get? Well, I'm fortunate in that I can get my mahogany and all that stuff locally. So, but the thing that's tough is that, I'm buying 8-quarter lumber, which is, 2 1/8 inch thick and is rough sawn and generally 10 to 12 feet long. So, it's not like I can go, this is really lightweight. So, you can kind of, I'm getting a little bit better on figuring out what's the really, really, really heavy stuff and what might be a little bit lighter. Let's see. Do metal pickup rings affect the sound? No. Let's see. Hi, Ada. Hello to Ada Gutierrez, who was a classmate of mine, and her birthday is the day before mine. Hello. Let's see. Perry Ormsby is one hellacious luthier. Yes, and he's an even better friend. Should marijuana David Kent Gibson. Should marijuana be legal on a federal level? You said anything. Yeah. I don't really have an issue with that. Yeah. The thing, but with marijuana and me, because hey, this is Ask Me Anything. I don't. I didn't inhale. No, I'm not a fan of it. I can't stand the smell of it. I also don't really. It comes with a lot of baggage. In other words, it's like there's this line from a song. I never thought, oh God, I forgot, a good time could turn into a lifestyle. I think the lifestyle that is portrayed or the perception of that lifestyle that goes with it is a bit of a turnoff. But I do think that it should be, it should be legal and just tax the ever living shit out of it. Thanks, Ada. How do I handle the hordes of screaming fans at my doorstep? Peppers of Boxcar Guitars in San Diego, California, and a Sully dealer. What? That's right. So Garrett and Boxcar Guitars is part of a small dealer network with me that I've got right now, and it's Garrett and John at Red Dragon Guitars in North Carolina. They have been really great to me and been very supportive, and they actually have 171 left, and it's really, 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 really nice. It was at the NAMM show. It's trans black and has a Floyd on it. It's a sweet guitar. I'm actually surprised that they still have it because of the guitars that I took to the NAMM show. I think that one was probably my favorite. So you should get that from them. And then the Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney, Texas, which is my hometown shop. They are going to be a Sully dealer as well. And the thing that is going to be really great about this, sorry, my nose itches, is it's important to hydrate, kids. So when I decided that I wanted to get a small network of dealers going, it was because I'm going to be doing a collaboration with my aforementioned spirit animal, Grover Jackson. And we are going to build 10 to maybe 15 pieces of the 71 Trella. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, stay right there, won't you? Talk to Ace. Okay, so this is a 71 Trella. It's got a fully carved top. There we go. Now you can see a little bit more of that. See how the light bends around there? This one is my personal one. This has Ormsby pickups in it. When Perry came to visit me, he brought me some pickups, and I put them in this guitar. And this one has just little slash inlays. It's got stainless steel frets, 25.5 scale, super sculpted on the back. Kind of blend. It's a set neck, but I blend it all like a neck through because clunky heels are for jerks. So we're going to build 10 to 15 of these. Now, these the ones that Grover and I are going to do are going to be a little bit different. They're going to have the hollow block inlays, which are just kind of like a block, but instead of it filled in, it's just the outline. And we'll have some with figured tops. We'll have some in solid colors. And the dealer networks are going to have these available for you. Now, when I say that I'm going to be building these with Grover Jackson, I mean I'm literally going to be building them with Grover Jackson. I'm going to, once we get these things scheduled in the build channel, I'm going to fly out to Southern California, and I hope that Airbnb is good to me. And I'm going to be there with him as we do the woodwork. They're going to take care of the paint, and then they are going to be sent to me here, where I will do assembly, wiring, final fretwork, stuff like that, and then they will go out to the dealer channels. I'm really excited about this on many levels. One, because it's Grover Jackson, and I wouldn't be building guitars if it wasn't for Grover. That is 100% fact. Specifically the white V that he made for Randy Rhoads. That's why I build guitars. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. And so we're probably going to start in July-ish. The guitars should be in dealers' hands by October at the latest. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited that they're going to be going to this dealer network. It's a big step forward. So I am going to say that I'm really excited about it one more time. Okay. I let the Prince shirt. Thank you, I do too. Let me know if I want to expand. I'm a 20-year experienced machinist. Noted. Just measured a KV2 and it's 20 from shoulder to point. Thanks, girl. Favorite tool I can't live without. My matinee idol, good looks. Go away, David Lindsay. Well, that doesn't seem very nice. What is my opinion on the Buzz Fightin' tuning system? I don't have one. I've never tried it. Just took it to our PRS last weekend. Okay, we talked about that. Show me your ace tats. It's just there. And this one is really bad. Let's see. Julie Schwabar, Elminger, joined. Hey, Julie, another classmate. It's nice to see you drop in. Let's see. What order did I get my larger tools and equipment? Did I finance or upfront cash? So I started, and this is kind of a question that I get on the reg. You know, how did you start? What tools are essential? I'm gonna go put this away. What tools are essential and how'd you get your start and stuff like that. I got pretty far with a bandsaw, a router, a jointer, just a little tabletop joiner, and a drill press. So you can too. But as far as that, so that's what I started out with. I did a Kickstarter in January of 2015. It went very well. And that allowed me to add, like upgrade a bandsaw and get, like some dust collection stuff and better fixtures, furniture, stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's, yeah. Let's see. I'm a master of my craft, sir. No, you're very kind, but no. I just, try and make each guitar better than the one before it. Do I remember Robin guitars from Texas? Yes, I do. Excuse me. Woo! Okay, got some questions on YouTube. Hey, Sully, been lurking here a bit. Do you have any thoughts on shielding and dummy coils for single pickups? I've had mixed results myself. No, not really. I'm kind of, as far as like shielding and stuff goes, I don't always do it. I don't always like shield cavities and stuff like that. Because if you're using humbuckers and, it's got shielded wire, you shouldn't really have to. And, I know that there are probably a bunch of other people that are like super like, into wiring and all that stuff saying, oh, you'll light them on fire. Like, that's cool. So no, sorry. How to find where to stick where the guitar, so Achilles is asking where to locate the bridge. Easiest way to do it is once you've got the neck on, go ahead and measure out to your scale length with your bridge, have the saddles all the way forward, mark a line, because that's, mark a line at your scale length, put your bridge on that scale length. You might have to squint your shoulders up like this when you do that, and that's generally where, you're going to need to place it, because the saddles, if they're on the scale length line and you do this, the saddles are only going to move backwards, so that ought to give you that ought to help you with that. Let's see. Wow, I'm really behind on the questions. I have the hardest time building something and letting it go. I get that too, but I also realize that if I kept every single guitar I would build, they would just sit here. And quite frankly, when the guitar's done, that issue actually was what made me go full time. And I just I just thought to myself, well, what happens if I just schedule all the classes, and if they sell out, I'd have to quit my job to facilitate those classes. And so I ran the dates up the flagpole, they sold out, and here I I will say that living in a different state, the overwhelming majority of students come from another state. So I do have, I've got some hotel rates locked in. There are also a couple of Airbnbs very close to me that some students have stayed at and had a good experience. I understand that it requires a commitment. So I guess what would I suggest? I can't really suggest anything, but I understand. And it says I'm trying to read. Okay, there we go. Glenn Sharp, any double neck guitars in your future? No, I'm not really interested at all in double necks. Colin Spate asks if I have a favorite Australian guitar maker. Of course I do. Have I ever made any basses? Julian, my man. Yep. I just got strings on this one. It is going off to paint momentarily. There's another one. So this is a 624 bass, or a 424 maybe. I don't know. This is maple on black limba, ebony board / inlays, ebony head plate, black limba neck, black limba body, and yep. Whenever I want to play like 100,000 Years and God of Thunder. There you go. So yes, I have built some basses. Let's see. What else we got? What's my favorite pickup set? Currently is made by Grover Jackson. My default is a kind of a little secret menu thing that they don't really advertise. That mixed with the Habanero Classic in the neck position. I really love them. Mike would love a single hum floyded V, no metal pickup rings though, they affect the tone. Well, fine, I will build that for you. Love the neck on your last Flying V. Thank you, they're Galaxy Vs or Revolutions. I don't make Flying Vs, Gibson does. I know, semantics. What age did I know I really love sanding? Still waiting. What's my favorite part of the build process? The beginning. Anticipation is my favorite emotion. Headstock binding. Do it with the fretboard on or fretboard off. Does it matter? I do it with the fretboard off because, like many of my builds, they are like Jackson style construction. So you see that the binding goes underneath the fretboard. So once you've got the headstock trimmed, go ahead and run it around your router. If I were to make pedals, how would I put my own stamp on them? Have a great day. Well, Edward, they'd probably look a lot like this. This was an overdrive pedal that we made. We did a class, and yes, it is the Al Pastor Overdose. Let's see. We've got question on YouTube. What's my Supernova model? Do I still make them? Do I make the templates for them by myself? The Supernova model is based on a Charvel Jackson Star. I'm building one right now, and it's about ready to go off to paint. I'll always build them if somebody wants one, but I don't know that it'll remain an official model because, quite frankly, it hasn't been all that popular. Let's see. Do I prefer mounting rings or wood mount for pickups? Do I think the tonal debate on mounting is BS? Well, I won't say that I think that it's BS. And it's interesting, because certain builders prefer no rings, certain builders just put rings on them, and I just put rings on them just because it's kind of like, I use this analogy a lot, like the best pizza place is the one you grew up with. So the way that you build guitars can be influenced by guitars that you grew up with, and the guitars that I all had pickup rings, so it wasn't really anything that I thought of. I just put rings on them. Do I think the tonal debate on mounting them is BS? I don't know. I don't generally have the tone conversations because we don't really hear the same thing together. Let's see. Oh, Anthony Walchuk, and to build on that, red or green salsa. They both have their merits. Henry, what is the next tool process currently in your shop that I will update or transform the very next chance you get? Note, I will be driving to Cowerpalooza when you answer this probably, so I'll... Oh. Oops. So I'll... Well, it tapered off. Next tool process in my shop that I will update or transform. Let me think on that one. Active versus passive pickups, what's my opinion? I've always been a fan of passive. I like actives for bass, kind of, I guess. Sort of, but I don't really care for EMGs because they sound like EMGs. Let's see. Yeah, I guess just in general, I prefer passive. Somebody asked about, do I like the Duncan blackouts, be a little bit more modern? I wouldn't expect to see like pine bodies and like the telly bridges and stuff on them. Let's see, have I ever thought of doing telecast? Okay, for set necks, do I usually put the neck angle on the neck itself or in the pocket? I put it in the heel. Let's see, wait, how do I keep my hair so bouncy? Well, I get lots of rest, stay hydrated, eat all my vegetables, and listen to my mom and dad. And let's see. Okay, hang on. I gotta refresh this page here so I can see some more questions. Let's see. Scrolling down. Okay. Yeah, I think I've covered everything so far. All right, let's see. Scrolling down. I wish I could review one of your guitars, but I wouldn't have the cash for shipping. That is an issue. Let's see. Why can't I see the rest of the... Somebody mentioned something about rosewood on a Les Paul, which I don't really know where that came from because I haven't mentioned that. Jerry Jaborek, ever mess with the Evertune bridge? No. Some people have asked about them, and like if I would use them. I don't know. I would say no. I'd never say never, except for Bigsby's. I will never, ever, 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 ever put a Bigsby on one of my guitars. Ever, ever. Yeah. Let's see. Why can't I see the rest of the comments here? That's all I can see so far. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so the YouTube questions, we are caught up, I think. Let's see. Let me go and check over that. Still laughing at the project management thing. Oh, would I prefer buying, for example, a cheap, like the Studios, USA Gibson Les Paul to a top-of-the-range Explorer, Epiphone Les Paul that would both cost the same, which I think has the higher quality? I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of respect for Gibson as a company, and generally, my experience with Les Pauls has been that you have to play a bunch to find one that really works for you. But I don't know. I would just, I would really just buy whatever guitar speaks to you and whatever neck feels good in your hand, what sounds good through the amp that you like. I mean, obviously, if there's a little bit of brand cork sniffery if you have like an Epiphone versus a Gibson. I try not to worry about that sort of thing. Let's see. Any hollow bodies in the future? Yes, I will do. There's going to be... That'll probably happen with the 71. I'm building some chambered ones right now. I'll likely have some sort of hollow body version in the future. Not soon future, maybe like within the next 5 years. Maybe I would see that happening. I saw... Can I get a Bigsby? No, Charlie, you cannot. Somebody asked, why do I hate Bigsby so much? Well, the first thing, I think they're disgusting. I think I think they're hideous. I think they're really, 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 really ugly. And I think that they look like oldie-timey medical appliances from like the 1800s or earlier. I don't think they work well. They're not easy to string. I just think they're gross. To me, it's like they look like leg bracelets. Man, I just hate them so much. I will never ever put one on my guitar. Epiphone fret jobs make me cry. So fun thing about fret jobs and major manufacturers, a lot of them don't do fret work. Let's see. I think you're local. Where do you buy your wood? A few places. Lately, Dakota Hardwoods on Mockingbird, just east of 35E. They are a supplier, so it's not like set up like a retail store. So you know, it's stacks on pallets and stuff like that. So you have to work with someone to, you know, pick some stuff out. But I like that place. Also, Wood World in Dallas. You can get black limba there. Let's see, the small bevel in it, and that's bound and it kind of tapers off, much like how some of the builders do with like the Black Machine style, where it's got like that 45 bevel, and they just taper the binding off. Do I like Floyd Rose's? I do. You snap the arm off somehow while I'm doing it. That's not good. Will there ever be a Rich Friedman song? Rich Friedman! Do I plan on doing multi-scale stuff? Maybe. I don't rule it out. Perry and I have talked about some ideas. And actually, years and years ago, Aaron from Blackwater Guitars and I were going to do a little collaboration kind of thing where I would, you know, bring a Raven body down and we would make like a multi-scale. But it's just, he's a couple hours away, and it's always been like one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, we should totally do it. And I'm like, yeah, man, we totally should. And we just never really get around to. I'd like to. Will it ever be? Okay, yep. Am I a P1? I don't know what you're asking. How does Ace's guitar shoot out smoke? How do you get broken trem arm pieces out on the cheap? I don't have the tools to get the stupid piece out of my Floyd. Dude, I'd have to see it. I assume that's not the screw in. Like, does it screw in all the way and it just like broke off like on a like. That's how it works in theory. There are many times when it didn't actually work live, and so I learned to like stick the wicks, the original wicks, like back in the smoke bomb. Then I'll kind of like stumble back to my tech, who would have a big lighter, and have my back to the stage, and then I would just kind of come out with the smoking. If you go on the YouTube channel, there are some videos. There's a video where I did that, and you can see me stumbling. It was fun. Let's see. Okay, so that is how Ace's thing. How that works. Let's see. Keep being you, Sully. It's a huge breath of fresh air to the guitar community. Aw, thanks, Michael. How do I get... Okay, we already answered that one. Yeah, Kahler or Floyd Rose? Floyd. I don't like Kahlers. That's like a Ford Chevy kind of thing. Although, Kahlers feel kind of spongy. And I know that you can get stiffer springs. I just don't really... More of a Floyd guy. Agreed, Michael. Do I live around Frisco? I swear I thought... yeah, dude, you would have seen me at Target. Yep, I was absolutely there. Let's see. Would I ever do a Floyd Rose equipped Les Paul? So I would never build a Les Paul, but there are 71s that have Floyds on them. So there you go. See if we have anything from YouTube channel. More comments below. Most mass. Okay, yeah. Man, Epiphone takes the cake from the stuff I played. You know, the depending on where they're made, country of origin kind of matters, because and I don't know enough about Epiphone really. I know they used to do stuff in Japan, and generally when it comes to the Asian manufacturers, the Japanese stuff is on the higher level of quality. Then it goes to Korea, and then it drops to like China. So I don't know if Epiphone does any Korean stuff anymore. I think they used to. Yeah, I'm actually pretty sure they used to, because I had an Epiphone Les Paul about 10, 12 years ago. I think that was made in Korea. Yeah, I'm thinking Korea. I once favored Randy over Eddie. What do I think of George Lynch? You know, I'm a little hot and cold with George. I liked George Lynch on the first couple Dokken records. I don't really have time. Oh, I saw some other questions here. Let me refresh the Facebook page. I really wish like these. I gotta say, on the YouTube channel, they've got the whole like comments section. They got that thing nailed because they've got a little chat window on there, whereas the comments on the Facebook page do not. It's not. They don't work as well. Let's see. Am I okay with having an orange president? Don't discuss politics. For the same reason that I don't discuss religion, how much money I make, you know, it's because we're not supposed to. Cheap guitar mounting channel, picture of okay, no, I'm kind of caught up, at least as far as I can tell. Let's see, can I see? I think I saw some questions that came in that I can't see anymore. Let me see here. Can I scroll down? On the app, doesn't really want to. Okay, I've answered all the questions that I've seen so far. So if I haven't answered your question, ask me again. Oh, someone asked about telling my favorite Robin story. You know, Dave just joined us on YouTube and asked if I was thinking about making basses. Yes, actually earlier in this stream I showed a bass that I just got some strings on, just to make sure everything's like geometrically cool before sending it off to paint. So basses, I'll build them. They won't be a big focus until, you know, expanded much further than just me in a garage. Okay. What separates Sully axes from other builders? I don't know. I tend to let other people kind of decide that. How did I come? Okay, cool. Here, right. Why retiring the 92? Am I still taking orders? Yes, until I think I said July 1st. Also, how did I build? Okay. Why am I retiring the 92? So the 92 is like the Les Paul Jr. style. I got rid of that for the same reason that I got rid of like the Strat style, because everybody fucking makes them, and I want to. That's one of the reasons. A couple other reasons, but it's also more important to me to kind of like refine and help cement brand identity, because it's important to me, at least. I am one of those builders that I don't focus a lot on like one-offs. I like to stay within certain models because of brand identity, and it doesn't really fit in with what I do, you know. So it's going away. Do I still have a Les Paul with the heel carve that I made eons ago? No, so I didn't actually carve the heel out on it. I was going to. That was the Les Paul that was in the YouTube series about, well, the whole Les Paul renovation. I was going to sculpt the back of the heel out, but after I saw a few pictures of Gibson neck joints and what they look like, there's a lot of air and gaps, and I was really concerned that if I started like sculpting away that back heel, that I might expose who knows, and I didn't want, kind of. So I actually did a YouTube video about this. I sliced the side of my finger open and got like 4 or 5 stitches, taking a router bit like out of the packaging. That was a hoot. But I am very conscious of when power tools are on. If a song pops into my head, or if my focus kind of moves to something else, I stop what I'm doing and just get back to, you know, kind of refocus myself, because I need to keep these. What is my favorite fret style to use? Stainless Jeskar. Have I ever built a baritone neck? And what scale length? No, but we've built some baritone guitars in class. Did a 26.5 scale 7-string, one of the students did, and I'll probably do like a 26.5 baritone. That'd be fun. Am I fearful of Yngwie's health because of his obvious massive donut intake? Well, I don't know. I hope Ingve is, if he has a massive donut intake. I mean, he should, you know. That's not a great answer. I'm sorry. Okay, that's... Okay. Still looks like I'm caught up with questions. If you've... fan fret ever happening? Maybe. I don't want to rule it out. But quite frankly, it would require a lot of... Kind of from square one type stuff, you know. Much like with building these bases, building these bases have made me like question everything, which is good. But like it seems like there's zero commonality between like, you know, it's almost like building a banjo. It feels like to me. So I don't know that I will get to multi-scales anytime soon, but Perry and I have talked about some ideas, and you know that it might happen. I don't know. It's not a focus though. Yet. All right. Let's see. Anybody have any questions for Ace? Yeah. Why are you so blurry? What tips can I give for leveling and crowning stainless steel frets? No, I mean it's the same. So there's a YouTube video I've got about leveling and crowning frets. Go ahead and check that out. The only difference in that video from putting out material, and I think that's a good thing, but I didn't really care for it. Lillian, thank you. I like the t-shirt too. Do I plan on doing tribute runs for other guitarists? I have an idea for something. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition or not. Ace, what do you think of Gene Simmons? Let's see. Heard the new Ace Rider cartoons. Okay. If you have heard the Alan, if you've heard the entire record, let me know what you think. Oh no, I did hear Parasite. I like hearing Ace sing that song. I wish that he would have just let John 5 do the solo, because that was not good. Favorite all-time pickup? It's 2. So people that know me really, really, really well know that my favorite pickup for many, many years was the Duncan Custom. The Duncan Custom is phenomenal. It is a fantastic pickup. It does not get half the credit it deserves. It's so overlooked, criminally overlooked. It does everything very, very, very well. Distorts like a motherfucker, cleans up, it's very responsive. It has a fantastic tone curve, I guess. You know, just great low ends, really great highs. Mids are where they should be. It's so well balanced. It does everything so well, so well. Duncan Customs are fantastic. I cannot. They're great. So enough about that. My other favorite pickup. I also like the Duncan 78s. I had a set of those. Those are really great. But the favorite one that I'm using right now is ones that Grover makes. It's kind of like a little secret menu thing. It's kind of between their Habanero Classic and the Habanero Spicy. And it's wound to about a 12K resistance, has an Alnico 5 magnet. It does all the stuff that the Duncan Custom does. So it's kind of like a Duncan Custom 5, which has an Alnico 5 magnet in it. I eventually want to make my own pickups. Ace, what do you think about Sully? I don't know. A great custom, yep, from recommendation on JCF. Ever try it with an A8 magnet? I haven't. I've got the alternative 8, which is a good pickup. Let's see. Should Tommy and Eric have come up with their own characters? Yes. Yes, I think so. I know I'm missing questions, guys. Why won't it let me scroll? That's so lame. It won't let me scroll, and it stopped updating in the app. Let's see. So if I haven't answered your question, copy it, recopy and paste it. I'm gonna have to wind this up soon. And I think about making bases. Okay, now I already talked about that. All right, let me refresh the Facebook thing here. Let's see. Do I think Kiss will actually continue without Paul and Gene? Possible. It wouldn't surprise me. They opened up one of their restaurants near me. I haven't been, but I don't know that I'll go. When do I get my own action figure? Lois, that's an excellent question. Who could eat more donuts in 5 minutes, Ace or Ingve? I don't know. I wish I had an Ingve figure and we can kind of, have a simulation. Okay, well, favorite wood to work with and why? I like working with Spanish cedar because it machines very easily. I like working with black limba because it also machines pretty easily, although it can get a little splintery sometimes. I don't mind mahogany. It generally, like carving necks and stuff like that, it generally goes a little bit faster than like maple. Yes. Do I like Mick Ronson's Bowie stuff? Of course. Favorite material to use for nuts and why? Mostly using bone these days. I don't know that's my favorite because it stinks when you are, you're kind of like working the stuff. If you've got to put it on a sander, ooh, bone nuts on a sander does not smell good. But also it's kind of one of those things that people, view as really great, and so it's kind of expected. Those Graphtec nuts are pretty good. I like those. I will not give Gene any more of my money. Yeah, I got to that point a long time ago. I agree. Let's see. Have I ever built a 0 fret into my guitars? No. My thoughts? I don't really... I think 0 frets have historically been associated with cheaper guitars. And I don't want to have things that are on my guitars that are associated with being cheap or of low quality. So no, I wouldn't really want to use them. And also, I know it's easier, when it comes to like nut slotting and stuff like that, but because you don't have to worry about like slot height and things of that nature because the string just sits on the fret. But no, I'm probably not going to do that. I should make a Queen tribute guitar. I don't know. I was thinking about. Well, I probably shouldn't. I'm not going to share. There won't be a Queen tribute, but I do really like the Red Special, and I have a ton of respect for Brian May, and how can you not, right? So maybe with one of the models that are going away, if it's always been in my head that if it comes back, I'm saying too much. Can I order a totally hybrid custom like Strat body shape, Sully headstock, Floyd Rose? You could have ordered a Catfish a couple years ago, and that would have been it. But I don't build Strat body guitars anymore. So I'll build a 624, which is a super Strat body, with a Floyd and a Sully headstock. I should make Queen. Okay, yeah, no, all right. That's all. It looks like it's kind of caught up here. All questions are caught up. You guys about ready to get on with your day? Are you? I didn't really have any plans for the rest of my day, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't really want to... I might kind of want to have a day off. Actually, I was like just too young. I've stayed for all this. Thank you so... Aw, man, you're a nice guy, Tony Van Kirk. Let's see. It really blows it. It's only showing me like 4 questions at a time. Okay, YouTube channel. I can see that there are 9 of you guys watching this. Thanks, Corey. Would I say the Micro Cube is good for a living room amp? It's alright. They're pretty affordable, right? They're like $90 or something like that. Have I tried a Galvin? I have not. No, I have not. Acoustic designs, not really. There could be any plans for air conditioning in the garage. Oh, I'd fucking love to. As far as acoustics, I've always kind of wanted to do like a nylon string Raven, where there would be like no sound hole, it would just be like a piezo kind of thing, and a 71, but like a nylon string version. Like Godin has, and I always forget the name of it, but it's like I want to call it a multi-act, but that's not the right. I always forget the name of it, but it was like a nylon string, piezo, but I was really I thought those were really cool, so I always thought like to do something like that. Who are my favorite YouTubers on luthiers on YouTube? Honestly, dude, I don't really watch guitar building videos, so I don't have any. Do I get to play as much as I would prefer? No, not really, but I probably not. No. Just finished my first build, slightly neck heavy. Thoughts? Well, it depends. Have I ever checked out Lato guitars? No. Any chance to make a purple shipwreck? Headless gent 7th and 8th string hitting guitars hitting now. The headless stuff, it doesn't generally visually work for me, but if it speaks to somebody else, I mean, I have no issue with it. So the whole shipwreck thing, that looks the way that it does because the woods that were used and the color that was shot over it. So it was black limba, which had a lot of streaks, much like the back of this Revolution here. So it was really streaky, and if you shoot a little bit of a light trans blue, it's going to give colors of blues and greens and that sort of stuff. So if you shoot purple over it, it's just going to have a different cast. So trans purple over black limba would probably look cool, but it wouldn't have that same like shipwreck kind of thing. That's actually a stainless frets, tools, and explode. How did I find the wood for my guitars? I generally buy lumber locally, and tops and sometimes fretboards I'll get online. House of Pain. Oh wait, like the Faster Pussycat one? Roundabout, I don't know that. I don't know it. Which lumberyard do you buy from locally? Dakota Hardwoods is one of them that I go to. It's on, what did I say? Mockingbird, just east of 35E. Ah! Practice. What type of strings would I suggest to use for my guitars and pickups? I use String Dog strings, and they're fantastic. And you can find them at www.stringdog.net and tell them Sully sent you. You can get them for under $5 a pack, and pickups I get from Grover Jackson. There's your Way Cool Jr. Let's see, Megadeth and Metallica, but I'm not a huge fan of either. Do I have a preferred scale length? Yes, 25.5. Why? Generally because it is what I grew up with, for the most part, and I'm not the tallest, largest human in the world, but I'm not the smallest one either. And short scale doesn't really work for me. I've tried 25, and that just kind of feels odd. Like I built the last 92 that I just built, the green metal flake one. That's 25 scale, and I think that if I spent some more time with it, I would get used to it. But I prefer 25.5. Which guitarist would I love to build for? Anybody that wants to order a guitar. Uncle Tom's Cabin, I don't know it, I'm sorry. But I remember I saw Warrant, I really loved their first record. And I went and saw them at this little bar in suburban Chicago called the Thirsty Whale, which was the first place, like the first bar I ever played at when I was 14. And I still have like the picks. I got like one of Joey Allen's picks, and I got like some autographs and some photos. It was just before, so Down Boys was a single, and it hadn't caught on, and it was just before Heaven came out, and then they exploded. But yeah, dude, that was a fun show. I liked that. A 24-inch 24-inch scale Brian May is right out. I mean, if somebody wants a 24-inch scale, I'll build it for you, I guess. But I don't want to build a copy of a Red Special or anybody else's stuff. Ooh, kids! So Facebook is telling me that there's 3 minutes until this video is going to end because it only lets me go an hour and a half. Oh, poor us. And so it's going to stop for in a little bit. Of all the years I've been building guitars, what was my favorite build? 71s. How's it going? Good. How's it going for you? Warrant, Cherry Pie, and Simpsons Sing Christmas, first 2 CDs I bought. Yeah, Bobby Brown motivated that purchase. Yeah, dude, I remember I met her when I lived in Hollywood. She was super nice. I'm a Les Paul player. To be honest, it's a pretty old design. It has its flaws. For example, the neck joint, agreed, doesn't give good access to the higher frets. What are your thoughts on these classic designs, which can be improved easily, but these companies somehow don't from a builder's perspective? Dude, you are speaking my language, my man. So I just leave. 71, buddy. Move Ace out of the way. Sorry, pal. Sully 71. Says a carved top. 25.5 scale. Set neck. Look at that. Access, kids. Access. Super sculpty. Stainless steel frets. It's a 3-piece laminated neck at a 10 degrees, so unlike Gibson's, it won't snap when you sneeze. Get you a 71. Torpedo Girl. Oh. Somebody said, am I outsourcing all of the finishes on my guitars? Most of them, yes. Man, a lot of people like giving me shit about not painting my own stuff. And I want to just kind of talk to that for a second quickly. I painted my own guitars for over 10 years. Even like one of the guitars that were a NAMM, I did the top for. I wanted to work with other painters so that I can build more than 5 guitars in a year and keep things moving. So yeah, I joke that I also don't harvest my own mahogany and forge my own frets. Do I have a price in the collaboration with Grover, or where will they be available at Guitar Sanctuary? Yes, I know what the street prices are going to be. I'll share that when they're available. Asking when will they be available at Guitar Sanctuary? Should be like October or so. Oh, God, how did Torpedo go? Alright, kids, this is going to wind down in just 14 seconds, so thanks for watching. Thanks for watching me babble and asking questions. I hope it was mildly entertaining, and I hope you have a nice day, and we'll do this again soon. So, rip it out!